All right, everybody. Well, I think we're ready to get rolling. We're about 6 minutes past the top of the hour, and I want to be really respectful of everybody's time. We've still got folks joining. And with that said, let's kick off the 108th anniversary annual meeting of the BBB Accredited Businesses. It amazes me to think that the Metro Atlanta, Athens, and Northeast Georgia BBB has been around for 108 years, and a lot of you have been a part of it for 50, 60, 70 years of that, and it's just incredible to think of the services we've been able to provide, but more importantly, the trust that you've shown in us and partnering with us and being part of the BBB organization. And we can't tell you how much we appreciate your willingness to participate in the BBB. And hopefully through the course of today, you'll get a better feel of what we're doing on your behalf, how we're supporting your organizations, the products and services that we have to offer, and just what your partnership with BBB really means. My name is Brian Catania, and I'm the President and CEO of Better Business Bureau. It's an honor to be a part of the organization. When they entrusted this with me 2.5 years ago, my predecessor, Fred Ellsbury, who a lot of you probably knew, was a tough act to follow. And to say I'm trying to do my best is an understatement. But Fred left a wonderful Better Business Bureau. I couldn't have asked for more when I came on, and it's really it's my privilege and my honor to be able to take up the mantle and take over what he really led. The team here is the most dedicated group of people I've ever met. They really are genuine about wanting to support our accredited businesses as well as consumers in the community and our partnerships at large. They take such pride and such passion and such a personal interest in everything we do. And a lot of times people ask me, what's the difference between you and the 50 other reputation management services that are out there? And I can unequivocally say it's the passion and the pride the people of Better Business Bureau put into the work they do to keep us a local community, a local organization of businesses, of community partners, of consumers. And by being able to do that, really offering the opportunity to provide you the best level of support we can. So again, I thank you all for entrusting us with providing you this level of service, and I'm thrilled that we're able to be a part of your business. Our agenda today, I'll finish my blabbing and get through the welcome and introductions. We've got a really exciting keynote. Many of you are going to recognize our keynote speaker in Harry Samler, who you can see him there. He'll kick off our keynote in just a minute here, but we've got a really exciting keynote. We'll follow that with some acknowledgement and recognitions. We like to recognize some of our accredited businesses that have hit certain milestones this year. We looked at 40 years, 50 years. Some of the businesses that have been around since 1952 when the Better Business Bureau in Metro Atlanta organized and started offering accreditation. So we're really excited to do the acknowledgements and recognitions. We'll then conduct our annual meeting. We'll give you an overview of the state of the organization. We'll take a look at where we've been in 2020, where we're headed in 2021, and then our board chair, Tim Mitchell, will provide some remarks on where he sees us going and where he sees the Better Business Bureau evolving over the next 3 to 5 years. We'll also look at our board of directors nomination slate. We extended an offer out to all of our accredited businesses about a month ago with regards to self-nominations or recommendations for nominations. We've got a great candidate pool this year. We'll talk a little bit about what that process is and what those board of director nominations will look like in the upcoming weeks and months. And then Tim will finish with some closing remarks. We've got a really cool thing that we're going to try. Again, being virtual and being the first time we've done this, we're not sure how this will go. But we're going to offer breakout sessions at the end, a chance for you to kind of dive into smaller little organizational groups that allow you to provide some input and feedback. We've got some guest speakers, some folks who are going to facilitate those sessions. We'll talk a little bit about some different topics like financial impact going into 2021, how to return to a safe and secure workplace, whether that's virtual, whether that's physical presence. But we've got a subject matter expert who's going to help kind of facilitate a discussion around that. We've actually got some discussion on what your accredited business profile can mean to you and how to maximize that opportunity. So we've got some really cool breakout sessions at the very end that we'll talk about when we get down there. But in the meantime, let's get kicked off with our, with our topics in our presentation. While I know you guys came to hear my lovely singing voice, I'm sure that you want to get into the meat and potatoes of the meeting. So let's get that going. The last thing I want to extend a formal welcome from Tim Mitchell, who is our board chair. Tim's going to join us a little later in the presentation, and he's going to talk about what he sees over the next 3 to 5 years. But our entire board of directors, our board is made up of completely volunteers. They give their time. They really get nothing in return other than the ability to say, hey, we're able to help businesses throughout the Metro Atlanta area, the Northeast Georgia area. And really, they do it out of the goodness of their heart. And they give their time and they give their service and they help define what our strategy and vision should look like. So on behalf of the entire board, Tim wanted to welcome everybody. Just so glad and appreciative that you're all willing to take some time to speak with us today. Our last reminder, the reason we're here is to provide services and products to our accredited businesses, to consumers, and to community or partners. But really what we want to do is we want to be the leader in reputation management and trust advocacy in our 47 county service area. We want to make sure that when people think of the name Better Business Bureau, they think to themselves, those are businesses that I can trust. I know that when I'm doing business with a Better Business Bureau business accredited, that I know that the business I'm dealing with is trustworthy, they value ethics and morality in the workplace, and that they're abiding by a set of standards that I know they're going to be responsive. They're going to take time to deal with me as a consumer or a partner, and they live by a set of standards that holds them accountable for the decisions they make. So once again, you're going to hear me repeat this so many times through today, but thank you for being an accredited business with us. Thank you for taking time to participate with us today and learn and understand what we're doing, hopefully on your behalf as well as the behalf of consumers and partners. With that said, I am very excited to kick off our keynote speaker. You guys see Harry up there. He's ready to take his moment. Many of you know Harry from CBS News 46. He does a segment called Better Call Harry, an investigative reporter who really looks at things that are going on in our community and figures out how to try and help consumers or businesses deal with issues that are prevalent. I'm really proud to call Harry a partner for the past 5 years. We've been doing some great work with Harry. He's been kind enough to partner with us. He does a lot of investigative work that we collaborate with him on. And Harry will touch on it, but the exciting part is over the course of those 5 years, we've been able to help consumers recover almost $2.4 million, whether they've been involved with scams or just issues that they haven't been able to get resolved. Harry and his team have really done an outstanding job of partnering and collaborating with the Better Business Bureau to make sure that consumers are being treated fairly and are getting a fair shake. So with that said, Harry, I'm going to pass it over to you, and thank you for being part of our presentation today, and thank you for the partnership you've shown us over the last 5 years.
Well, I have to say thank you guys, and I appreciate everybody being here today. I don't know what I'd do without the BBB, because in the news business, it's all about content and how much content you can put out. So every day I've got to come up with something to put on TV. So when I first started doing this segment about 5 years ago, it was funny. It was like, well, who do we go to for help? And it was like, well, how about the BBB? Because there's just such a great name recognition affiliated with it, and it was just easy to connect with. I'm going to give Dottie Kalina a shout out now for helping me out over the years, because whenever I need a story, whenever I need something, or I need to go in the right direction, I call Dottie, and then within minutes I've got a story. So thank you all for joining me. A lot of people ask me how I ended up doing this, and I will say, there's really no major for consumer investigative reporter. So I wanted to give you a quick background about how I ended up doing this, because it was a bit of an accident, actually. By the way, welcome to my studio. Like you, even television news people nowadays, you've seen some of us are broadcasting from our basements. And now I will tell you yesterday that I never had to meet up with my photojournalist. I was able to do my interview on Zoom. I was able to record my audio. I was able to drop it in a file. We're doing things now where it's like, I can be here, he can be in his basement. He puts the piece together. And if you tune in today, I think it's at 5:45, you'll see the piece that we put together on the latest scam call. Back to how I ended up doing this. I was actually a senior in college at Tulane with no direction, no idea where I was going. And I was a psychology major. And I decided I wanted to get into television news. It was a kind of a Hail Mary. And I had people tell me, well, you can't do this. And I'm thinking, well, you did. So I talked my way into an internship, and I started learning everything that I could. I started working with photographers, reporters, producers, the assignment desk, and just kind of absorbing everything. And it's led to almost a 30-year career now of doing this. For 17 years, I shot my own stories. And at one point, I was working in Columbus, Georgia. I was actually living in Auburn. I was the East Alabama bureau chief. So I quickly became an Auburn fan. And I would, back then, we didn't have, microwave. I would drive my stories in back to the station. I would actually start my day on Central Time and finish my day on Eastern Time. So if it was airing in the 5 o'clock, it was really airing at 4 o'clock for me. So we have a lot that we deal with in terms of deadlines. That still to this day that was rough. Anyway, so after shooting and reporting and doing the regular general news stories, I actually, about 15 or 20 years ago, was asked to do a segment at another TV station, a consumer segment where I was the photographer and the producer. And I was working with a gentleman, and we were going after businesses. And I know that a lot of businesses don't like the media because, we show up with a camera, we show up, with the microphone demanding answers. And a lot of times the whole story doesn't get out there. And I did that for a number of years. We never named, when I was a producer doing this, we never named the companies, and we never really held people accountable for what they did. So when I started here at 46, and I ended up in this consumer segment, and they just kind of said, you're the consumer guy. And I'm like, well, I've done this before, but we've got to do this in a way where we hold people accountable. And I understand that you have a business to run, so I don't do that. I don't show up with a camera and the microphone, just demanding answers. I usually start with a phone call, and I'm very nice and honest and say, we've heard from somebody who says X, Y, and Z, and we'd like to hear your side of the story, and we'd like to see if there's a way that we can resolve this and maybe get a resolution where we help your customer, but at the same time, we still promote you. It doesn't always work that way. And there are times where I end up showing up at someone's door. And we are going to show you a story. There's about a 15-second delay before they play this. If we could cue that story up. This is a story about a contractor, a swimming pool contractor. And I tried and tried and tried to get him to just give us some answers. But he'd taken a lot of money from a lot of people. He took their deposit, and then he never did the work. And I want you to see how this ended up.
Good morning and welcome to the Magistrate Court of Jackson County.
After spending the night in jail, deputies escorted John H. Barrow into a Jackson County courtroom near Athens. He skipped his last hearing.
That hearing was on the 30th of May, 2019. You did not appear at that hearing.
This time, Barrow did appear after the judge had him arrested. A lot of customers, some of them here in the courtroom, are not happy with Barrow and his company, Precision Pools and Spas. This couple, the Soras, gave Barrow more than $15,000 and got nothing.
He's lied to us. He's lied to our children, our family. He's stolen money that's not his and tried to justify it.
The Soras joined the list of customers who claim they've given Barrow payments totaling $125,000 or more, including the Taylors. They gave Barrow more than $40,000, and for that, they got a hole in the ground.
It'd be nice if you do the right thing and step up, give us our money back. Otherwise, stop ripping people off.
Mr. Barrow? After meeting with the Taylors, we went to Barrow's house for an explanation. It did not go well.
I'd go knock at the door except for, he seems like a nice dog, but I don't think I'm going to take any chances. Oh, that's time to go.
Not long after this incident, we learned Barrow is under investigation by the state's Consumer Protection Division. But that is not why he's here in court.
Do you own a television set?
After spending a night in jail, the court made him list all assets worth $10 or more.
Washer and dryer?
And Christina Sora left no stone unturned.
Under the furniture, making sure we include dining room tables, couches, lamps, desks, beds, drum sets, stereo equipment.
Barrow returned $10,000 of the Sora's deposit, but still owes another $5,000.
I feel very fortunate for the amount of money that he owes us compared to some of the others.
After the hearing, Mr. Barrow was released, but if he doesn't pay, the sheriff will seize his assets for auction.
One of the other couples in that hearing just got a judgment for $20,000. Mr. Barrow tells me that he wants to make things right with his customers. The state continues its investigation. I'm Better Call Harry. The best way to reach me is email bettercallharry@cbs46.com.
I have probably one of the most unusual stories I've done. I wasn't actually shot at, just so you know. We're pretty sure he was out on his back porch and he fired off a couple of shots. And still, even after that, I felt like it was important to try and let him tell his side of the story on this and find out what happened to all of his customers' deposits. And he was waiting inside the courthouse, and we were waiting for him after court. We had to get that shot of him coming out because, and he wouldn't come out. So finally, after 10 minutes, I even walked in without the camera, and I said, "Mr. Barrow, do you want to say anything?" And he's like, "Well, I'll explain it to you later. I've got a story. And you'll hear the whole story later, but I just can't do it now." And unfortunately, we never got the end of the story. And he ended up going bankrupt. And I believe they seized his house. But that's an extreme. But at the end of the day, though, I still feel like it's so important, if I'm going to do these kinds of stories, to give the business owner a chance to respond. And I think these customers, every customer that where he took their deposit and either did some of the work or didn't do any work at all, they didn't bother to go online and check the reviews. And I always tell people this. I'm like, listen, before you hire any company, go online and check the reviews. With almost any company, you're probably going to see a negative review. But you've got to look at a pattern. You've got to look at a history. If they had checked out this particular individual, they would have seen one person after another saying, "Hey, stay away from this guy because he took our money and we never got it." I hear that time and time again. And I think reviews are really important. But at the same time, I also tell people, please don't be thrown by one negative review. Or two negative reviews. You want to look at a history of reviews. And I tell people, I'm like, go to the Better Business Bureau and Google the name of the company and then BBB. And then not only look at if there's a complaint, look at how they responded to the complaint. Because a lot of times you'll go and you'll see that you've got the kind of customer, and I get these calls all the time that you start talking to them and it's like, yeah, that's not really the entire story, is it? So I would say to you, because I know a lot of you are accredited businesses, how important it is to respond to any complaint or to thank people for the positive review and let them know that it's a real review versus a fake review. I was doing a story back when we had the storms. Was it last month? I don't know. It's all kind of a blur. When we had that heavy rain come in and it started flooding and all the trees were coming down, and I talked to a gentleman that was had his own company and had been in business for over 30 years. And he said, yeah, people actually go online and they started posting negative reviews about me. And not only did he respond to those negative reviews, he found out that they were reviews by people from competitors. So he would respond online and say, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. We looked you up. We can't even find you in our database. But if you had an issue and you have a date, please call us and we'll respond. And I think that's wonderful when it comes to a small business. And I just want to say, for the small business owners versus corporate, you don't have a PR department. to deal with folks like me, where I can just pick up the phone and you can send me to, media relations. But it's really important, I think, to respond. I know that when I get a complaint about Home Depot or AT&T or Xfinity, that I can immediately look up media relations and it will connect me with somebody, and then I will do the same thing. I'll give them the same courtesy that I would give the small business owner and say, hey, look, here's what's going on. This person paid X amount, they never got the service, and is there a way that we could work this out where, that we have a positive resolution for everybody? So it's a little bit different what I do, because not only am I a reporter, I'm an advocate. And I like to say I'm an advocate for customers, but I'd also like to think that I'm an advocate for good business as well. So when the BBB says transparency is important, I really believe it is, because you guys know, people talk. You get on, if I'm looking for an electrician, I'll get on my neighborhood HOA, and you find out immediately who to go to or who not to go to. I'm not sure how I'm doing on time. I do want to, if we could queue up another story. I've had a wonderful partnership with the BBB over the years, and whenever I need a scam, whenever I'm like, okay, I need something, I gotta put something on, what's the latest scam? That scam tracker is great. And this is one that we've gotten a lot of complaints about. It's the pet scam, especially now with the pandemic.
Here's a couple who drove from out of state to pick up a puppy they purchased online. The video was caught on Brenda Wilson's Ring Cam. Miss Wilson has a dog, but it's not for sale. She's not selling anything, but it hasn't stopped 8 people from showing up at her Stone Mountain home. Blue Moon Italian Greyhounds and Mary French Bulldogs listed Wilson's address as the pickup location. These ethical dog breeders are an overseas scam.
Sorry.
One came from South Carolina and looked like one came from Florida, and I know the ones in D.C.
The Better Business Bureau says since the pandemic started, the online puppy scam is its #1 scam in Metro Atlanta. Here's Dottie Kalina.
I've done over 200 investigations so far this year on fake pet websites.
Sound like somebody playing jokes here.
One of the victims called DeKalb County Animal Control on Miss Wilson. There are 2 victims. First, the people who wired or used an app to send hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars for a make-believe puppy. And Miss Wilson, who's tired of hearing her dog bark at strangers, who all failed at one simple task.
If you can't hold it, then don't send money to strange people that you don't know.
If you find a breeder online, go to the BBB Scam Tracker and check them out there. You can also go to petscams.com, and we got one more good one, scampulse.com. I'm Better Call Harry, CBS 46 News.
That story, I love that story, because it's good and it's bad. She was a good character, and it's unfortunate what she had to go through, that somebody randomly, one of these overseas scam artists randomly picked her address as the pickup point. But again, if these people had gone online and they had simply Googled the name of the company, or they had gone to the scam tracker or just done some sort of review check, they would have found out really fast that this was a scam. And the other thing I'm just going to say to folks, because so many people now are using Venmo and Zelle and PayPal, I'm okay with it. And I tell people again and again, if it's somebody you know, or if it's, when my next door neighbor is actually going to be doing our kitchen here, we're doing a renovation. I know that I can trust him, and that I can send him the payment, and I can, walk over there and say, James, did you get the money? I will say with everybody, it's great for business. I've had a lot of people, and I know a lot of you are probably using this now, where they'll use, payment forms like that. But a lot of times what I will tell people is, and maybe you know this, do a test run, send me $1, see if it went through. And then once you get it, okay, let's go ahead and make the rest of the payment. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to talk about. I could probably go on and on and on. How are we doing on time, guys? Is there anything, Dottie or Brian, that you would like me to address before I kind of finish up?
Harry, I think this is great. I think the fact that, we've had a partnership for 5 years, I know that we're able to help facilitate by giving you guys some stories, and certainly we appreciate that you're able to give it a lot of attention and a lot of, national remarks. Any feedback you get from consumers when they watch one of your stories or experience one of your stories that they were able to come to BBB and get positive feedback or help them towards that? Anything that you typically hear back from the consumer, or is it typically after that you they go their separate way?
I say pretty much I'll hear from folks, and the people that I hear from are generally the people who weren't smart enough to get online and check with the BBB to begin with. So I find myself educating folks and saying, check your website and do your research and check reviews and go from there. And also, we've done some stories in the past where businesses have tried to say that they're an accredited business with the Better Business Bureau. And I know you guys have dealt with that, but I always say double check if they say they're accredited. If they're accredited, they're accredited, but make sure and go to the BBB's website and do a. I had a roofer who he starts one company. He says he's accredited with the BBB. We shut him down. The police are looking for him. Just found out he started another company. He just changed the name, promotes himself as a man of faith who, but he has taken deposit after deposit from people, and then he never comes back to finish the job. So I find myself educating people more, but I still think what you guys do is such an important service, and I think the BBB is here to stay and will be around for a long time to come.
Well, Harry, thank you so much for being part of this. It's great to have the partnership that we have, and again, like I said, you bring so many eyeballs to a lot of issues that, like you mentioned, small businesses don't always have the support and vehicle to go out and get some of these things resolved. So whether it's the consumer or the business, they're able to come to a more positive resolution and something that brings, hopefully a win-win to the entire situation. So we greatly appreciate it, Harry. Thank you for taking time to be part of us today.
Glad to be here, and I would answer those reviews and let people know, or if you have positive reviews, this is a real review from a real customer, and just put it out there, because people do talking, as you all know, they get on their neighborhood chat page and they'll know. So that's all. Thank you. Sorry if I rambled. That's what TV people do. Now I've got to switch gears and go record a best of special that's going to air later this month. So thank you all for having me.
All right, Harry, thank you for being part of it today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. All right, y'all. So again, that was great. It's we've been partnering with Harry and CBS 46 for about 5 years now, and that relationship has been nothing but positive. And as you heard Harry mention a number of times, it's really brought it's brought positive conclusion to a lot of stories that could have gone sideways and really could have had struggles. Giving a voice to consumers so that they can get issues resolved, but also helping businesses understand that being trustworthy and being able to be out there. And you heard Harry mention a number of times referring people to the Better Business Bureau website, filling in reviews and completing reviews. We'll talk about that in a little while. It's all so important in making sure that those trustworthy businesses are the ones that consumers are going out to work with, and that these scams or the fly-by-night carpetbaggers are the ones that they don't pay a lot of attention to. So again, great to have Harry on. It's always good to see his face and hear his voice. So thanks again, Harry. All right. Okay. Let's pivot over, y'all, and we wanted to take some time to do some recognition. We've got a lot of businesses that hit milestones each year, and as part of the annual meeting, we like to recognize those businesses and call them out and talk about how long they've been a member of Better Business Bureau. So we've got Brandy Zaccardi here with us today. Brandy is our Senior Vice President of Brand Engagement. Brandy does just about everything for BBB. But we're going to let Brandy kind of take over and talk about some of the recognition that we want to put forth today.
Good morning and welcome again to the Better Business Bureau's 2020 annual meeting. Harry Samler, we can't thank you enough for joining us today and for always working with BBB to protect the community with your investigative reports and educational tips. The work you're doing matters. I have the distinct honor today of recognizing many accredited businesses in our community who have exemplified the meaning of trust, honesty, and integrity, and who have helped BBB build a community of trustworthy businesses that consumers, other businesses, government agencies, the media, and many more seek out every day. We couldn't perform Better Business Bureau's mission without the support of business leaders in our community who believe in and support BBB's standards for trust, who understand that BBB's symbol is more than a stamp of approval. It's a belief of doing the right thing, even when nobody is looking. It's the character and commitment of these business leaders to build trust, to advertise honestly, to tell the truth, to be transparent, to honor promises, to be responsive to their customer experiences, to safeguard their customers' privacy, and last but certainly not least, to embody integrity by approaching all business dealings, marketplace transactions, and commitments with integrity. It's these businesses who have committed to these standards for the past 40 years, 50 years, and in some cases have chartered your Better Business Bureau's existence. To start, we'd like to recognize our courageous board of directors. These folks voluntarily give their time to BBB throughout the year, where they guide us on strategy and important services that BBB provides to businesses and consumers in our community. They represent you as BBB accredited businesses themselves from a variety of segments and are committed to ensuring that BBB serving Metro Atlanta, Athens, and Northeast Georgia is focused on the success of BBB accredited businesses and positive consumer experiences. A huge thank you goes to each and every one of you, and we especially thank Tim Mitchell, our board chair, for leading the charge. These seats aren't easy to sit in, but each one of you has made significant contributions to BBB's success, and for that, we can't thank you enough. You know, the interesting part about BBB's board of directors is that over 108 years ago, business leaders just like you and them came together to form this amazing organization because they knew our free marketplace needed somebody to set standards for marketplace trust. Now, you know, we live in a crazy world today, and we experienced a market like none other in 2020. It was an unprecedented year, but oddly enough, the values that BBB promotes and that you support are needed more so today than ever before. These very values were just as important over 2,000 years ago, as evidenced when Cicero wrote to his son Marcus and said, "All things should be laid bare so that the buyer may not be in any way ignorant of anything the seller knows." Apparently, even then there was a recognition of truth in advertising. Fast forward to the late 1800s, early 1900s, when advertising in the US was a free-for-all. There wasn't an entity that existed to ensure advertising was truthful until Mr. Samuel C. Dobbs, a salesperson for the Coca-Cola Company, who later became president, found himself in court after the Federal Pure Food and Drug Act had been passed in 1906. Now, the government at the time lodged many charges against several firms, including Coca-Cola, which, as you know, is headquartered right here in Atlanta. However, when the trial ended, the charges were unfounded. But during the court proceedings, Dobbs listened to that U.S. attorney charge Coca-Cola with false advertising of his product. Much as that bothered Dobbs, he was even more shocked at the response of his own attorney when he said, "Why, all advertising is exaggerated. Nobody really believes it." Think about that. Although that attorney didn't realize it, his remarks marked the start of the Better Business Bureau movement. After that court hearing, Mr. Dobbs quickly got busy and met with other business colleagues who agreed with him in supporting a movement for truth in advertising. And so, the Better Business Bureau was born. Today, that movement continues through the support of each one of you through your commitment to BBB accreditation standards, also known as our standards for trust. It's your commitment to these standards that allows BBB to serve its mission of setting standards for marketplace trust, of encouraging and supporting best practices by engaging and educating consumers and businesses, by celebrating marketplace role models, just like we are today, and by calling out and addressing substandard marketplace behavior. Now, this is where Harry Samler really comes in handy. And finally, creating a community of trustworthy businesses and charities where we can shop with confidence and trust. Now let's jump in and recognize those businesses who have supported BBB and the values of truth, honesty, and integrity for the past 40 years. Always Care Nursing Service has been providing private home nursing services where they strive to take care of fellow Georgia residents as if they were family. Since 1974, they've provided services such as personal care, nursing, and companion or sitter services, and has been BBB accredited since January of 1980. Arco Building Systems was founded in 1979 and provides metal building services. Whether you're planning to use a steel or metal building for your personal use or for a mini warehouse or for a church or shopping center, they have a building that will fit your needs. Arco Building Systems has been BBB accredited since August of 1980. Primerica Incorporated, founded in 1977, is focused on the middle market and helping Main Street families get the financial help they need. From helping families with a financial needs analysis to providing a variety of insurance-related products, Primerica has helped many families invest and prepare for their future. This company has been BBB accredited since January of 1980. D. Geller & Sons, where Atlanta gets engaged, was originally established in 1939 as a jewelry wholesale company that sold to the public. Today, they remain a family-owned operation where their mission is to make you a customer for life and make you part of the family. D. Geller & Sons has been BBB accredited since December of 1980. Congratulations to all those BBB accredited businesses. Moving on to our accredited businesses celebrating our 50th anniversary with BBB, we have Artistic Pools Incorporated. Founded in 1957, this company has been serving the needs of many residential and commercial clients to include gunite pools, pool houses and pavilions, and more. We're pretty sure they were swimming in work this year, as pools were on BBB's top inquiry list from consumers due to COVID restrictions and travel plans that were canceled. It's the year of staycations. This company has been BBB accredited since June of 1970. Allied Fence has been providing residential and commercial fencing needs since 1953. With over 60 years of experience, they offer a variety of fencing products from wood to aluminum, to electric, chain link, vinyl, and more. Allied Fence has been BBB accredited since June of 1970. Loomis Supply Company originated in 1925 when Mr. Loomis Sr. pumped sand from Proctor Creek at Bolton Road and sold it throughout Atlanta. Since then, 5 generations of the Loomis family have been able to touch the evolving needs of Atlanta's builders. Loomis Supply Company has been BBB accredited since January of 1970. ER Partridge Incorporated has been serving the Atlanta market for over 100 years, providing uniform services for custom shirts, pants, overalls, jackets, and industrial uniforms. They have what you need for your staff to look good and stand out while representing your brand. ER Partridge has been BBB accredited since January of 1970. And Duramax Siding and Windows, established in 1970, provides a variety of siding, windows, and door products for your home improvement needs. Family owned and operated, they stand behind every job to ensure customer satisfaction. Duramax Siding and Windows has been BBB accredited since September of 1970. And now, to recognize our most tenured BBB accredited businesses, these organizations weave themselves into our everyday lives through a variety of products and services. From the energy we bring into our homes, whether gas or electric, to the opportunity of owning a luxury vehicle or high-class furniture, to maintaining your credit worthiness or reading the daily news, and ending where BBB began, by quenching your thirst with a refreshing drink of Coca-Cola. These organizations made a commitment to BBB standards for trust long before they could ever tout their accreditation status. Back when these companies took a pledge to build trust, advertise honestly, and to tell the truth, they didn't walk away with a BBB logo to place in their ads or storefront. nor was there a place for consumers to see these businesses' coveted A+ rating. Nope. In fact, back then, being a member of the Better Business Bureau was almost like a secret society. These businesses didn't join because there was something in it for them. They joined because they saw a greater need, bigger than themselves, a need to continue the movement that Samuel C. Dobbs began so long ago that resulted in the birth of the Better Business Bureau back in 1912. These companies understand the value and the speed of trust. You can't see it, but you can certainly feel it. Trust is a hard-edged economic driver when it comes to business success. Think about it. When trust within an organization is low and consumer satisfaction is ignored, business will fail. But when trust within an organization is high and consumer satisfaction skyrockets, you can bet trust is quantifiable. These firms have stood the test of time because of it, and for that, we congratulate all of you individually for earning this well-deserved recognition. Now, the last segment of our accredited business recognition focuses on two entities who understand the value of consumer opinion and how it drives one's thought process when making pre-purchase decisions. Now, you heard Harry, he touched on this quite a bit earlier. And we know consumers use a variety of resources when deciding with whom to spend their hard-earned money. And customer reviews, today's word-of-mouth advertising, is one such area where consumers place a lot of trust. According to Third Coast Interactive, a customer review firm, 85% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. BBBs across the country are seeing an uptick in customer reviews, and we are focused on putting more emphasis as we enter the new year on ways BBB can help your business gather and collect customer reviews so you too can manage your online reputation and drive success through the stories of your customers. Our goal is to help you become more visible so potential consumers can find you quickly and know that you're a business that they can trust. Consumers understand the value of your accreditation. They understand the commitment you've made and the hard work that you've put into earning accreditation status. It certainly wasn't handed to you, and it's not for sale. Each one of you had to demonstrate you could meet and maintain BBB's standards for trust, and your customers' opinions are living proof that your word is solid. So congratulations to AmeriSave Mortgage Corporation and to AmeriFreight Car Transport for earning the most positive customer reviews in 2020. You exemplify what every business owner seeks to do, and that's to be rewarded with positive word-of-mouth advertising that does the selling for you. So congratulations again to all of the accredited business members receiving recognition today. You should be so very proud of this accomplishment. We hope you'll share this recognition with your customers through your own social media channels, and don't forget to tag us. We love being engaged with you and your customers too. So that wraps up the recognition portion of our annual meeting. So back to you, Brian.
All right, thanks, Brandy. And again, it's great to recognize all these businesses. It's amazing to think of how long some of these businesses have been accredited with the Better Business Bureau and have understood and appreciated the value of that trust and what trust means in the marketplace. So with that said, let's move forward and run through our annual meeting. So each year, the Better Business Bureau conducts an annual meeting with its accredited businesses, and we spend a little bit of time giving you some perspective on where we've been, what we've accomplished over the past year, what we're looking to accomplish in the upcoming year, and spending some time talking about where we are and where we're headed. I'd like to jump into that. You'll see that the agenda for today, we'll spend a little bit of time on 2020. As all of you are well aware, 2020 has been a chaotic year in every way, shape, and form. So we wanted to highlight some of the things that we've been able to accomplish in support of our accredited businesses, in support of our consumers, in support of our partnerships in the community at large. We've actually had a really banner year with regards to being able to provide those services and products, and we want to make sure you guys are aware of what's happening and what's out there. We also want to talk a little bit about our performance, and then we'll talk about our growth plan going into 2021 and some of the plans that we have. And then finally, as we discussed earlier, we'll talk about that board of directors nomination slate and how that's going to be handled in a virtual year. Brandy?
Okay, thanks, Brian. Despite 2020 being a year like we've never seen before, Your BBB remained focused on serving the needs of our businesses and consumers during this crazy pandemic that has impacted so many. Like many of you, I'm sure, March of 2020 was the beginning of great uncertainty. We were just beginning to understand the seriousness of the coronavirus and how it was impacting every country across the globe. Rather than just go through this pandemic together, we decided to grow through it together. We knew we had to be creative and innovative, as did many of you, if we were to come out of this stronger than before. Fortunately, our staff was ready to take on the challenge, and we quickly moved to telework status over the weekend of March 13th. By March 16th, all 43 employees of your Better Business Bureau were working from home and serving the needs of our community. Internally, we breed a culture of respect, teamwork, excellence, and integrity. And our staff proved just how important those values are during a time of not knowing what is next. They took on the challenge with us, and each one of them stepped up to the plate by taking on more responsibility, by being flexible when we needed their help in areas of BBB business due to demand, and by being patient and trusting with leadership. We ensured daily calls with every member of our team to stay in touch with each other personally and professionally, and we all pitched in to check on each other to provide support when the pressure was on. As leaders of this organization, Brian and I are so proud of our team for keeping our BBB performing like a well-oiled machine so that you could continue finding ways to be of service to your customers in a world where many businesses were forced to shut down. Because we have such a strong membership base, it was your support that really fueled our ability to get through this transition. Many of you were instrumental in our success. For example, by paying your dues in a timely fashion despite not knowing if there was money coming in the next month or so, or working with us on payment plans until your PPP money arrived because you knew the value of your accreditation. You ensured we had the right funding for equipment like laptops and headsets for our team. Our technology folks at Century Solutions Group helped staff set up offices remotely, ensuring each team member had the right internet connections and bandwidth to do their jobs. And they hand-delivered many assets to staff who didn't have all the equipment they needed. And for that, we're grateful. Many others supported our Building Trust in Trying Times webinar series that began in April and ran through October, where we featured many guest speakers who were subject matter experts on topics that mattered most to our accredited business members, like how and where to apply for a PPP loan and understanding all of the nuances that went with it. We also shared stories that ripped the veil off of frauds and scams emerging during COVID, and we spotlighted many of you, our accredited businesses, who are out creating new and innovative ways to serve your customers while keeping them safe during the pandemic. We were able to also build out an automation platform in 2020 that increased our ability to vet accreditation applications much more quickly. Meaning it used to take us anywhere from 7 to 10 business days to approve an accreditation for an applicant. Today, applicants know almost immediately whether or not they have earned accreditation status. We also released our new BBB accounts page where you can manage your BBB accreditation at any time that's convenient to you. It's a much more robust platform than we've had in the past. It's a place where you can download BBB logos for your own advertising, such as radio, TV, and billboards. You can upload photos and videos of jobs you've performed to your BBB business profile. You can manage your customer experience and get a quote requests and much more. In fact, you have an opportunity today to learn more about what the BBB accounts page can do for you if you haven't already taken advantage of it. It's a great way to manage your business profile with fresh, up-to-date content. So be sure to check it out. Now, you heard me say earlier that our team showed up ready to take on 2020 no matter what obstacles were thrown at them. Just last month, BBBs across North America celebrated milestone accomplishments where we recognized individual staff performance with respect to our business relations representatives who were able to influence the most businesses into seeking and ultimately earning accreditation status. You would be very proud of your BBB team here in Atlanta, because out of over 580 business relations representatives across North America, 3 of our very own staff members placed in the top 20, and 2 of them earned the #1 and #2 spots in the nation for highest dollar amount of sales. We again congratulate Glenda Locke for placing in the top 20, to Nancy Crittenden for earning second place, and to Lauren Myers for earning first place and highest dollar amount of sales internationally. We couldn't be more proud of our team and for the leadership of our sales manager, Kevin Williams, who always keeps them motivated and enthusiastic. When you have a worthy cause to work toward, it turns your job into a vocation. Now, I would be remiss if I failed to mention the grassroots efforts that our staff developed to address diversity and inclusion in everything we do. Today's environment screams for it, and our team did a fantastic job of putting together a strong statement of our values toward dignity and respect for all, and in denouncing racism and discrimination in any form. They met several times this year to ensure all staff had a platform to be heard and to create a stronger environment where we can share individual differences to work toward the greater good. We also kept our pulse on the needs of the market through our community outreach efforts. Although it was difficult to present in person at schools, civic centers, or in front of business groups, our community engagement executive, Anita Harris, still found ways to connect with our community and provide BBB educational seminars to both businesses and consumers. Now on the next slide, you'll see the effects a pandemic has on trust. With the uncertainty of the market, consumers are much more cautious about letting their money go, and they're more apt to do their homework as to a company's trustworthiness when times aren't stable. Many didn't know if they would have a paycheck coming, so the importance of spending what money they had with somebody they could trust took precedence. This year alone, we saw a 20% increase in visitors coming to bbb.org and a 16% increase in consumers specifically seeking business profile data compared to last year. That means they want to know more about you and how you treat your customers. If you'll notice, the box on the left titled Total Inquiries shows a significant spike in inquiry activity between March and June of this year. During that time period, you know many consumers were in quarantine mode and stuck at home. So what were they doing? They were looking for educational consultants and tutors to help with homeschooling. They were finally getting around to all those home improvement projects they've been putting off, and so they were searching for trustworthy contractors. Many had to cancel vacations, so why not have a staycation and get a new pool installed? What about all the struggling business owners looking for financial help or homeowners looking to take advantage of super low interest rates? Both were looking for reputable lenders. These are just a few of the industries that made up our top most inquired list for 2020. You also heard me say earlier that customer reviews are driving many consumer and business decisions, and here again, you can see BBB activity where customer reviews have also increased. All of this tells a story that trust has never been more important than it is today. Stephen M.R. Covey, the author of The Speed of Trust, said it best when he said, quote, "There is one thing that is common to every individual, relationship, team, family, organization, nation, economy, and civilization throughout the world. One thing which, if removed, will destroy the most powerful government, the most successful business, the most thriving economy, the most influential leadership, the greatest friendship, the strongest character, the deepest love. On the other hand, if developed and leveraged, that one thing has the potential to create unparalleled success and prosperity in every dimension of life. Yet it is the least understood, most neglected, and most underestimated possibility of our time. And that one thing is trust." Close quote. With that said, your Better Business Bureau staff, leadership, and board of directors thanks each and every one of you for believing in BBB's mission of advancing marketplace trust, and for being the business leaders in our community who set the example by walking the walk every day. It's not easy taking the high road, but it matters, and that's where trust is built. So Brian, that wraps up the 2020 performance highlights, so back over to you.
Thank you, Brandy. And it's great to see some of these results. And y'all, the reason we spend some time sharing our 2020 performance highlights, and in particular, things like our inquiries and our web traffic and our reviews, is because these are the things that most directly impact you all. You know, the number of inquiries that we're getting on a monthly basis, somewhere in the neighborhood of 500,000 inquiries, the volume of web traffic that bbb.org sees on a monthly basis. You see that Page views are in excess of 30, sometimes 40 million page views with more than 10 million unique visitors. That's important because those are all eyeballs that are on your businesses. And then you look at reviews on the far right. One of the things we're really going to promote as we start talking about our 2021 growth plans is we really want to start looking at how do we improve reviews? How do we get more reviews? And you heard Brandy mention, reviews are a really highly regarded element of any consumer's ability to go out and validate a business. And we want to become a more active participant in that space so that your businesses can get more recognized, and it provides yet another resource for consumers to find you and be able to leave all the positive feedback they want to leave about the trusted businesses that they can do business with. You'll see that our 2021 growth plan is very similar in nature to a lot of the things that Brandy just shared. We still want to have a focus on our culture. You heard Brandy mention it, and it's critical to the success of our Better Business Bureau that we have people that believe in our mission. And we have a staff of just incredible people that come and do this work not because it's a job, but because it's a passion of what they do. They want to come and they want to help your businesses. They want to figure out how can we provide the level of support that you need to be able to get the value out of the Better Business Bureau that you want and see. We also love working with consumers and our community partners because we want to create this multi-sided platform of engagement that allows businesses and consumers and community partners to all interact and engage with each other in a cohesive environment. We don't want just businesses to be successful. We don't want just consumers to be successful. We want all of this to imbibe in a homogeneous ecosystem that allows everybody to benefit from the value of trust, the value of ethics in the marketplace, and the ability to work in that environment where people can trust each other. So we continue to put a heavy emphasis on the folks that work with Better Business Bureau and the culture that we create here so that it's a positive framework to develop that atmosphere. We're also spending a lot of time investing in technology. We know that the more we move into 2020s, 2030s, 2040s, technology is going to be a massive part of your businesses. We're looking at ways where when you combine that with the user experience, how can we offer technologies that you can leverage and you can take advantage of to improve your business efficiency? It might not necessarily be the sexiest thing in the world, but how can you leverage that accredited business profile from a technology standpoint to be the conduit to an improved user experience with the consumers that are out there? Whether it's something like our Get a Quote program, which allows consumers to come in and solicit quotes from different types of businesses, to the accredited business profile, which allows you to update your personal dashboard to reflect things that would have value and meaning to consumers in the marketplace. So when you look at technology and you look at consumer experience, we're trying to do things that are aligned with each other so that you get the benefit of our technology investment and improve the user experience for your consumers that want to come and have an easy, facilitated experience with your business through the BBB.org accredited business profile. You also look at things that we're doing with regards to growth and community engagement. Whether we continue to work virtually or whether we start getting back to face-to-face, we want to put more emphasis on growing that community involvement. I mentioned the word multi-sided platform earlier. We want to become a one-stop shop for everything you need, for everything your consumers need, for everything the community at large might need, for everything that our partners might need. When you go to BBB.org or eventually you go to a BBB mobile application, we want you to be able to facilitate all the experiences you could possibly need, whether that's seeking new customer opportunities, whether that's organic growth. How do I better build my business from internal? There's going to be educational resources available to you. There's going to be collaboration resources where, hey, I need to collaborate on a new facility that I want to build on behalf of my business. Who can I trust to work with to leverage that supply chain so that I can build a new facility at cost and with reputable builders. We're going to try and create an environment and an ecosystem where you can come to BBB.org or you can come to the Better Business Bureau mobile app and get everything you could ever possibly need in one place. We're going to have a social element to it. How do we promote community engagement from a social perspective. We'll do some fun things. We'll do some educational things. We'll do some informational things. We'll put out more infographics and information you can use. A lot of our 2021 development is going to be in the space of analytics, providing you all the tools and technology to analyze your business and make decisions, make business-related decisions based on analytics and insights. And we know that a lot of you being small businesses don't necessarily have the resources to invest in, really robust and dynamic, analytics engines. We want to be that for you. We want part of your BBB accreditation to include the ability to navigate a dashboard that gives you insights into your consumers. How do you go and attract new consumers? What are the ways in which you can avoid disputes? And what are trends we see in the dispute marketplace that you can avoid by taking proactive action? So we really want to become more heavily involved in everything our businesses do, but also what is the consumer looking for? What are our partners looking for? What does the community in general look for? And you heard Brandy mention towards the end, diversity and inclusion. We want to make sure that we do all of these things, being the cradle of civil rights. We want to make sure that we're continuing to promote a positive environment, and we're continuing to promote the ability for underrepresented or minority organizations to take advantage of business opportunities like they never have before. So BBB wants to be a growth opportunity there. We're really excited about everything we're doing. We're excited about where we've been, but we're even more excited about where our future takes us, because we continue to work with you all closely, and the feedback we get from our accredited business is what really drives some of the decisions we make moving forward. An important part of that is our board of directors, and one of the things that we'll continue to do over the course of 2021 is we'll continue to look for board of directors that represent who and what we are. You heard Brandy mention that our board is made up of volunteers. Everybody who participates in our board of directors is a volunteer, which means that they're doing this because they have a genuine belief in what the mission and vision of Better Business Bureau is. They're not doing it for ancillary financial support. They're not doing it because it's resume building. They're doing it because they have a genuine fundamental belief in who and what we stand for, and they want to figure out, how do we help businesses grow? How can we help businesses be trusted? And how can we create and develop that community of trustworthy businesses so that when consumers need information or want to access businesses, it's all right there for them? You'll see that in 2020, we've got a couple of board director openings. Our Coca-Cola board director has retired. Kevin Craigline spent a lot of years with Better Business Bureau, and he has decided that it's time for him to retire and go see what the world has to offer. So we've got an opportunity from the Coca-Cola organization for a replacement. Carrie Davidson served us wonderfully from Newellco for almost 10 years. Carrie's got a lot of life changes that she's recently made, and she's decided that she's going to, she's going to retire from the board and spend a little bit more time with her current work and her family. And she's been a wonderful advocate of us from a human resource perspective, and we couldn't appreciate all the work Carrie has done to advance the Better Business Bureau in the 10 years she's been a part of us. So we're looking at a replacement from Newellco to represent what Carrie was to us. We also had Emery Rowland, who was part of Leverable. Leverable was a small company in the Metro Atlanta area, providing search engine optimization, a lot of technology and aptitude. So we're looking for an at-large bid. And as part of that process, we talk about the nomination of businesses. We sent a nomination slate out a little earlier, about a month ago, and it provided the opportunity for folks to nominate for at-large members of the board. We got a wonderful turnout. We've got about 15 folks who were either nominated or self-nominated who were interested in joining our board of directors. So we're in the process of reaching out to them, talking with them, understanding their backgrounds, helping them understand what the role of the Better Business Bureau Board of Director is and what we would ask of them and how they participate. It's a very active board. We try not to inundate because, like we mentioned, it's a volunteer organization, but at the same time, they provide such an important part of who and what we are that when we're able to communicate with them, We want a group that's really passionate about what they do and how they do it. So we've got a wonderful slate of nominees that we're currently working with. We've got a nominating committee that will speak with each of those nominations, better understand who and what they are, why they want to be part of the BBB board, and then we'll work with them to figure out how those things merge together and when and how we might be able to get them to be a part of the Better Business Bureau, whether it's in a board capacity, an advisory capacity, part of our Center for Character Ethics capacity. There are a number of ways in which we can facilitate that relationship. So we're really excited about the nomination slate that we have. And over the course of the next few weeks, after we get through that nominating committee review of all of our candidates, that slate will come out to all of our accredited businesses, and we'll actually have a vote, an accredited business vote on the new members of the Better Business Bureau Board of Directors for 2021. So look out for that over the course of the next few weeks when that nomination panel comes out. The last thing I have before I pass it over to our board chair, Tim Mitchell, is a review of our current board of director officers. So we've got a board of directors that's about 18 folks. Within that group is a subset of directors who make up our board of director officers. Those officers are our chair, we've got our immediate past chair, and then we've got first and second vice chairs, as well as the secretary treasurer. The responsibility of our officers is to spend a little bit more dedicated time evaluating opportunities that are brought forth from myself and from the Better Business Bureau organization. They help kind of vet the operational asks that I have, the things we want to do, the things that we want to execute on to support the mission and vision of the full BBB board. The officers really take a little bit of time to help facilitate that experience and sort of vet those things out before we present them to the entire board and eventually the entire accredited business population. So they really provide a small think tank almost of opportunities and ideas that we can, that we can exercise before we bring opportunities and suggestions to the full board of directors. So this is a really important group who, I personally put a lot of value in. I have wonderful relationships with every one of them. They are invaluable to the work that me and my team do on a daily basis because they really help guide the direction that we're going to go. And as such, what we wanted to do is have our board chair, Tim Mitchell, spend a couple of minutes right here at the end talking to you about what his vision of our future is. You heard us talk a little bit about 2020 and what 2020 has meant to us. I spent a little bit of time talking about where we're headed in 2021, but Tim really has a broader vision of what is the Better Business Bureau going to be over the next 3 to 5 years, and how are we going to facilitate that experience, and what does it mean to him as a small business and as a part of Delta Community Credit Union? What does it mean to him to be able to be part of the BBB Board of Directors and help us with the wonderful experience we have every day? So Tim, I'd like to welcome you. I know we're towards the end, but I think your remarks will really hit home with the team that's on. And if you want to take over and spend a couple of minutes talking about your vision of BBB.
Hey, Brian. Thank you for that introduction. And just let me check. Can you hear me?
Yes, Tim. We've got you loud and clear.
All right, great. All right. Hi, everyone. I hope you all are doing well during these obviously unusual times. Last year, this event was held in the ballroom in what used to be the downtown location of Macy's, just across from the new headquarters of our BBB that's at Peachtree Center. We had recently made a decision that the BBB should be headquartered in Atlanta. Previously, it was out in Forest Park, and we just felt like, it really needed to be in the heart of downtown Atlanta, just recognizing that Atlanta is kind of the heart of Georgia and North Georgia, and felt like we should move the headquarters there as a statement. That was a fantastic event. I certainly wouldn't have believed at that time that we would be holding this event virtually for 2020. And hopefully for 2021, we'll be back at the ballroom or somewhere similar. As I think about the past year, there's a few thoughts that, I'd just like to share. first up, to our fantastic BBB staff, I just want to say thank you from myself and for the rest of the board. When the world shifted back in the spring, you all shifted seamlessly and continued to deliver on your responsibilities to the BBB mission, and all of you guys are accredited businesses. I'm very proud of your accomplishments this past year, and I'm just humbled to be a part of this fantastic organization. I joined the board about 6 years ago at this point, and one of the things I've just been so impressed with throughout my tenure has just been the dedication to the mission that all of you guys in the BBB staff bring, that you guys know that it's not just a job, you're making a difference, you're supporting the accredited businesses, and just making sure that business is done fair and equitable. And to our accredited businesses, regardless of, your industry, I know you all are finding these very unusual times, thank you. Thank you as you continue delivering, on the products and services that everyone from our frontline heroes to myself and our next door neighbors depend on every single day, just keeping, the economy going and making sure that people have, again, those products and services that they need. It's amazing what you're all doing. And so it's, again, thank you to all of you guys. As I think about the current and the upcoming year, and I think about the mission of the BBB, I can't help but think that it's more important than ever, to have an organization that's lasted 108 years and whose motto is start with trust. 3 simple words. And you just think of those words, and I think those words really do you good, whether it's business, in your personal life, or in any circumstance. Just knowing that you're doing the right thing, that you can expect and give trust. I just think it makes a huge difference. And I also know that you think about the BBB, and it's not just a thumbs up, thumbs down type of organization as to how people say, hey, we think that this organization did good, we're going to give them 5 stars or 1 star, but that there's actually a way that the BBB applies standards, and they take critical customer statements and they investigate those statements, and they make sure that there's fairness on both sides for the consumer and for the businesses. It's not just a random person with a grudge that can actually impact your business in a significant way, because if it turns out that there's not validity there, then that actually gets overturned, and that that critical statement goes away, which again I think is very important in today's environment and economy, knowing that you've got an advocate like the BBB that's out there for you. And as it has for decades, I think being a BBB accredited business, it says that I, as a business owner, believe in high standards, and I'm going to hold my company to those standards. And again, during a time of challenge like we're facing, I think that attitude and holding yourself to those standards is more relevant than ever. Brian joined us just shy of 3 years ago. And during that time, we've been making significant changes to how the BBB operates, and really not changing the mission or the fundamentals, but recognizing that, from a modern standpoint, we need to be doing business in a very efficient way so that we're actually supporting you guys to the best that we possibly can. And we're making sure that again, we're holding ourselves to that mission, and just doing the right thing for the consumers in our marketplace, as well as all the accredited and other businesses. So we're going to continue doing that. That is going to be a significant focus for us in the next couple years, is just trying to better the job that we're doing for each of you guys and each of the consumers in this marketplace. And again, making sure that we're staying true to that motto of start with trust. So thank you all for attending today. Please keep safe in the coming months, and I hope that you all have a fantastic holiday season, And may the new year bring health, happiness, success, and some welcome change. So thank you all. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you so much, Tim. And again, everybody, Tim has been our board chair now for about 2 years, and we're lucky enough to have him again coming up into 2021. And he has really been a visionary. When I was first hired, Brennan Stewart from Ream was our board chair, and she was a wonderful advocate, an incredible supporter, really was so invested in the work that we were doing and kind of looking to move us forward, and how do we help our accredited businesses more grow, develop the resources that we have. And when Tim came on, we didn't lose a step. We didn't miss a single thing. Tim's technology background has really helped me develop and foster kind of the environment that we want to create. We want to help you guys become more, more virtual, more mobile, and be able to access the things you want and need very quickly, and be able to do that in a smooth and good user experience. So, Tim, thank you for everything you've provided us over the last couple of years of leadership. We look forward to 2021 again, and to the entire board of directors, we appreciate everything you guys have done for us, and just how wonderful that relationship has been. With that said, y'all, we've got 2 last things we want to do. Before we talk about the breakout sessions, and I want to try and provide a little bit of clarity on how those breakout sessions will work, we want to spend just a minute highlighting some of the people that are behind the scenes of your Better Business Bureau. We've got a wonderful group of folks. We've talked about them a little bit during the presentation, but a lot of times I don't think you guys get to put some names with faces. And the slideshow that's currently going on puts some of those names with some of those faces. It gives you a chance to just see who we are and what we're all about, and not only how much fun we have with each other, but just how seriously our people take their work. And while we enjoy what we do, it's still great when we get together and we're able to spend time. And obviously 2020 has been an interesting year, to say the least, but at the same time we've been able to have some virtual fun and create an environment where we've been able to participate with each other and really enjoy. So that's the slides you're seeing. We wanted you to get a chance, even if it's just in pictures, to meet some of the team that support you every day and provide you the resources and help that you get from Better Business Bureau. And we're glad that you're able to just put a face with some of those folks. And as soon as this slideshow ends, we'll talk a little bit about the breakout sessions we want to facilitate and give you access to. But we really hope that you enjoy, kind of, even if it's virtual and even if it's only through pictures and images, rotating through a slideshow. We hope this kind of gives you a perspective on who we are behind the scenes. I know it's sometimes you just kind of feel like the people you work with and provide you support are sort of, automation in the background, but we are really an excited group of folks that get to do something we incredibly love every single day of our life. And I know a lot of people don't get to say that about the work that they do, but I think we all feel very passionately about that we do what we love. And you see here, we are the BBB. We start with trust, stand with us, we're stronger together. We are really proud of that. We believe that that's what we stand for and who we are. So thank you to all the staff and team that makes what we do possible. And hopefully you guys, if you have not gotten a chance to meet some of that team, hopefully you'll get a chance to meet them in the very near future. Okay, so the final part of our day here is we want to offer the opportunity for some breakout sessions. And these breakout sessions are a chance for you guys to go into a smaller room and get information on topics that we think are really pertinent and really relevant to 2021. We've got 4 sessions scheduled. We've got 1 session for how to engage customers in 2021. So once again, session number 1 will be how to engage customers in 2021. We all know 2021 is going to be an exceptionally unique year. So if you're interested in a small breakout session where you can ask some questions, hear from our facilitator, a gentleman by the name of David Quinlan, who's really a subject matter expert when it comes to engaging customers, that breakout session will be for you. There will be another session that is what your BBB accounts page can do for you. Our own Crystal McPherson will facilitate that session. But if you're interested in having a smaller group breakout where you can ask some questions about what does my BBB account page do, how can I take advantage of it, and how can I get the most out of that page, you can join that breakout session. We've got a third breakout session that's going to be how to safely return to either a physical or virtual workspace. We've got one of our trusted colleagues from our International Association for Better Business Bureaus, Elizabeth Pratt. She's going to help facilitate that session. But really, we've got tricks, we've got tips and ideas on how to return to a physical or virtual workspace and how to maximize that opportunity, whichever direction your business is going. And then finally, we've got a breakout session on 2020 financial impacts on small business. We've got a member of Smith & Howard, who is an accounting and auditing firm in downtown Atlanta, highly reputable, highly regarded. Nicole Davis is going to join us from Smith & Howard, and she's going to spend some time talking about what the financial impact of 2020 is on small businesses and what that's going to mean to you in 2021. So a great opportunity for you to get some smaller Q&A with the subject matter expert on finances for 2021. So in order for you to participate, first of all, we're going to record all of those sessions. So while you'll only be able to attend one session, you'll be able to come back and see the recording for any other session that you might not be able to attend. So pick whatever session you feel like is most pertinent to you, attend that session, and then we'll send out a link to all 4 of those sessions so that you'll be able to take advantage and learn about any of those. In order to join a session, I want to let everybody know, in order to join one of those sessions, you'll have to disconnect from this current session. All you need to do to disconnect from this session is click the X in the upper right-hand corner, and that will end your current GoToWebinar session. Before you do that, though, you'll notice that in the chat box, we've posted links to each of those sessions. So whichever session you're interested in, go to that link, copy and paste that link. You won't be able to click directly on the link from this because first you have to close out the session. But go copy and paste that link. All you've got to do is go into that chat feature, highlight the link, right click and click copy, and that will copy that link for you. So I'll even show it to you, but just go into that chat session, you'll highlight the link, right click the link, and then just click copy. And that way you'll have that link copied so that when you exit out of this GoToWebinar, you'll be able to paste that into your browser and go into that GoToMeeting session. So you can go into that chat box that's recently been posted, pick the topic that you want to attend, copy and paste the link, close this session, and then paste that link into your web browser, and it'll take you directly to that breakout session. You can also check your email. You should have received an email from us earlier today at about 11:45. That also has these links. So if for some reason you copy and paste and you leave this session and it doesn't work, go to your email and you can find the same link in your email. All you have to do is click that link from your email and it'll take you directly into the breakout session. Otherwise, you can copy and paste this link from the chat session into a browser and it'll take you to it. So again, I'd like to thank everybody. Hopefully you'll be able to have a little time to join one of these breakout sessions. They're going to be really valuable. They're going to provide a lot of information in a smaller group setting. So you'll be able to ask some questions and get some feedback. But again, in order to join one of those breakout sessions, look at your chat session, look at the chat feature on the current GoToWebinar, find the session that you want to join, copy and paste that link into your web browser, and you'll be able to go directly to that. But first you'll have to disconnect from this current session. So, or you can check your email, disconnect from this session, check your email, and you'll be able to link directly to the breakout session. I see a couple of you have already started to do that. We're seeing our attendee list dwindle. That's great news because we want to get you moved over into those breakout sessions. So let me just say on behalf of Better Business Bureau, for those of you that are still on, thank you for attending our 2020 year in review, our 2020 annual meeting of accredited businesses. It is our honor, our privilege to serve you as accredited businesses, and we hope you continue to find our relationship valuable. We're excited about the things we have to offer you in 2021, but please keep your ideas and suggestions coming, because we'll be stronger based on the feedback you provide us. So once again, thank you for everything you've provided. Jennifer and I will stay on in case there are any follow-up questions, but in the meantime, please check your chat session, copy and paste the link that you want to attend, close your current session, close your current browser, and then paste that link into a new internet session, and it'll take you directly to that breakout. Or you can check your email, and the email link will take you directly to, it'll take you directly to the session you want to join. So with that said, y'all, we're going to go ahead and end today's meeting. Thank you all for attending. Hopefully you'll be able to join us for a breakout session. Again, either copy and paste the link from the chat feature into a web browser, or look at your email from about 11:45 a.m. today, and you can click directly on that link. So thank you to everybody for participating today. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we are excited to support you in 2021. Have a great day, everybody.